Good morning, everyone. This is Biz Chicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we're talking tech with the Tech Divas. I'm joined today by my co-host, Ms. Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. She's got us rolling on several platforms simultaneously. I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and we'll be joined shortly, I hope, by our tech diva from New York City, Miss TJ, Terry Johnson. But today we're going to get right on into it. You know, we like to make tech easy. So we're going to chew it up, digest it, and put it in a form that you can receive it with the least amount of what would I say, inconvenience. We want to make it as easy for you as possible. So we don't talk techie when we talk tech. Don't be scared. Okay? So come on in, sit down, have a cup of coffee, and join us. Hi, how you doing, friend?
I am doing very well. And I want to say thank you to everybody who's watching this live, everybody who's watching by replay on Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus. We want to say thank you so much for joining us. And I'm going to talk a little bit about today in tech history. Okay, so on April 7th, 1964, IBM launched the System 360 mainframe architecture, which comprised of 6 compatible models complete with 40 peripherals. The line dubbed the 360 because it addressed all types and sizes of customer. And it cost IBM over $5 billion to develop, and it is widely considered one of the riskiest business gambles of all time. So up until this time, computer systems, even those from the same manufacturer, were generally incompatible with each other, meaning the software and the peripherals from old systems would not work with the new ones, and so it caused a lot of problems. And business customers were hesitant to lose their investment on current systems, didn't want to change, all kind of stuff. But it apparently paid off for IBM. In the first 3 months of its release, it received $1.2 billion in orders. Yeah. And within 5 years, over 33,000 units were sold, and popularizing the concept of the computer upgrade around the world. So, yeah, you can read more about this on this day in tech history. So now the next thing I am going to bring up. Has anybody heard of Ronald Wayne? Ronald Wayne.
No.
April 12th, 1976. Ronald Wayne, one of the 3 co-founders of Apple Computer, leaves the company just 11 days after it was established.
Shut up.
Selling his 10% share for $800. In his short time with the company, he illustrated the first Apple logo, wrote the company's partnership agreement, and wrote the manual for the Apple I. He chose to leave the company because the partnership agreement imposed unlimited personal liability on all 3 co-founders, irregardless of which partner incurred the debt. Unlike Jobs and Wozniak, who were 21 and 25, Wayne had personal assets that potential creditors could seize. The failure of a slot machine company he had started 5 years ago or 5 years earlier also contributed to his decision to exit the partnership. Wayne would later say that he either was going to go bankrupt or the richest man in the cemetery. By 1982, a 10% share of Apple Computer was worth $1.5 billion. That was 10 years later. That should be a book. 10 years later. And in 2010, it was worth 22 billion. They say hindsight is 2020, or perhaps 22 billion.
For real.
I'm like, dude, he was 10 years from being a billionaire.
Wow.
I'm like, gee whiz. April 12th, Yuri Gagarin was age 27, was the first man to orbit into space. And he was going to go back and do it again, but it didn't happen because he died in a car crash. But he was the first man in space in 1961. April 12th, NASA launched its first space shuttle missile in 1981, sending Columbia on its maiden voyage. Houston, we have had a problem. That took place on April 13th, 1970, and where there were 3 astronauts that had a problem, and they had to make a makeshift lifeboat to get back to Earth, but they did get back to Earth. And then April 13th, Metallica sues Napster, and this is in the year 2000. For alleging copyright infringement and racketeering. And this lawsuit was later joined by Dr. Dre, as well as other lawsuits from the RIAA, eventually causing the original Napster service to shut down and file bankruptcy. However, it opened the Pandora's box that could not be closed, and digital distribution changed the music industry forever. As for Metallica, their reputation was tarnished for some time by this move. Ironically, Metallica owed much of their early popularity to the spread of unauthorized copies of their early albums.
See, y'all know a blessing when you see it.
As the heavy metal genre in general, and Metallica in particular, did not get much airplay at that time, it was reported that Metallica quietly encouraged the free spread of their music in the early 80s. Now it's the 2000s, and now they try to get paid. Therefore, many viewed Metallica's action against Napster as hypocritical and greedy. And there you have this week in tech history.
All right, follow the money. Follow the money.
10 years later. Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Well, since we're talking about following the money, let me let you know that today is the official day where they're no longer requiring your signature on a credit card slip. We know we've been gradually slipping into this, and this is the official day. Now, some companies will ask you for it, but MasterCard, Visa, American Express, and other major card companies are not actually requiring it. However, Square, you know how when you swipe people's cards, they are requiring that you do that electronic signature. Yes.
At least somebody's asking somebody with blood to sign.
I want somebody to sign when they use my card, okay? I really do. So I can say that's not my signature, or something. Give me some way to defend myself.
Okay, but here's the thing. Most people do not know how to write in cursive anyway, because they're taking that out of school. But
that's right.
So
well,
make an
X. Maybe we all make different X's. I don't care. But I would mark something, baby. Okay, so
that's kind of interesting.
Features are ending in the U.S. on April the 13th. Okay, so American Express, MasterCard, Visa, and Discover no longer truly require those things.
Wow. That's all I can say is wow.
I know. Wow. Now, I like to get my little digs in before I run out of here. So I'm going to, if it's okay with you guys, I'm going to give you a little quick rundown. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Walmart has added 500 pickup towers to their system. So now you can order it. You can go and pick it up, put your digital code in the tower, and get it. So that's going to make it more convenient for almost 40 million additional customers. Then Gmail is adding a, what would you call a feature where you can now make your stuff confidential. So that should be coming out shortly. So, if you want the email to disappear after a certain number of days, or they won't be able to forward it or things of that nature. So it gives you a couple of little safeguards, I guess. But the deal is they can still take a screenshot. Don't. Yeah. Just don't do it. If you got something that's that confidential, I'm just saying, you might want to just deliver it verbally. Okay.
Oh, so go ahead.
Yeah, I know. It's a little, come on, people. Is it really that serious? The Museum of Selfies has opened in Glendale, California, because selfies are art. And I mean, think about it. What is the Mona Lisa? It's a selfie. I mean, what is Van Gogh's self-portrait? It's a selfie.
It took a little long time to do it.
You know what I mean? When they stood for those huge portraits, just a selfie. I want a picture of myself, right? Okay. So yeah, it's just gotten more convenient, and they're like 93 million selfies taken a day. So maybe it is significant.
My question would be, how did they get them? Do people submit them, or do they just go on Facebook accounts and just snag them?
For the museum?
Yeah.
The museum, what they have is they have scenery and different things. You can go in there and take your selfies. They've got the reported longest selfie stick, like it's 90 feet or something, and you can go in there and take a picture with a 90-foot selfie.
Oh, okay. Stick. So they're not going to get selfies from other people. No, you have to take it. You have to take it there. Okay. Because I was just saying,
like ice cream film. You know what I mean? Where people go in and they got scenery and stuff, and you take pictures with different backgrounds. And I think Beyonce made the Ice Cream Museum famous. I mean, you can't even get a ticket. You got to get it way in advance. Sort of like the National Museum. It just takes one celebrity to make things go off the chart in terms of being popular.
Okay.
So you got that going on. Then, Spotify had an IPO, that, on April the 3rd.
Yes, and for IPO is an initial public offering, taking the company from private to public.
Exactly, and the starting
share
price was $132
per share. Wow,
I know. Usually, stuff like that starts in the single digits or the double digits, but $132, and it went as high as $165 on the first day. So that was interesting. However, I do want to point out that Spotify has never really produced a profit, so you might want to be cautious about. They do have 70 million paying customers, but they still haven't reached the profit level. I don't remember.
Okay, there's a problem with that computation.
With that
business model.
There you go. That's the term, business model.
Okay.
So, and the last thing I want to share is that Sprint and T-Mobile are back on talking about a merger. So that's
going to be major.
That's going to be interesting.
Because Sprint and Metro are already together. I'm sorry, T-Mobile and Metro are already together.
So what happens if Sprint and T-Mobile get together? Is that a monopoly?
No, it's not going to be a monopoly because you still have Verizon and AT&T.
Okay. All right.
It'll just be big three instead of big five.
Gotcha. Well, they've been really scrutinizing that, which is why they haven't been able to put it together, because they're concerned about, it becoming so huge.
Well, it might, I think it might be a good idea to use the some of the features from Sprint and the features from T-Mobile coming together, making it a force to deal with AT&T and Verizon. Just saying, you need something, you know what I mean, to put a little fire under them.
Okay.
And before I just want to say hi to Donna watching from Puerto Rico. And she said, and her internet is in and out. So hopefully she hears this little shout out to her. She's in Puerto Rico. Donna is our vegan travel specialist in Puerto Rico right now.
Wow. You gotta give us some feedback, Donna. We want to know what's going on over there and how the recovery is going too.
Yeah, so you can check her out on Green Earth Travel on Facebook. Green Earth Travel on Facebook. Yep.
There you go.
Okay, Terry, what else you got?
My last one is Disney has kicked off their streaming service, and it features some National Baseball League stuff and some National Hockey League stuff at a cost of $4.99. It's just an expansion of ESPN. So they are out there now with their streaming service. That's pretty reasonable for $4.99. And eventually, I'm sure they're going to be adding all of their, what would you call it, Disney content.
Okay, so here it is. You mean Disney Now, or is this Disney something else?
This is Disney ESPN streaming service. They're going to.
Okay, so this is not the Disney Now that we got for the kids program.
No.
Okay.
This is the baseball, hockey.
Okay, so this is Disney's sports part of the thing.
I'm presuming that's what it is because of what they're featuring.
Yeah, because Disney owns ESPN and ABC.
Yes, so they're expanding it to live streaming for those. I guess they got the licenses for that.
Oh, okay. Now I understand. It's not their streaming service for TV. It is the live, so that we can watch baseball live and hockey live and whatever. See, now I'm going to go down this road. We cut the cord, but they're now trying to come back to us with these little nickel and dimes.
You see what I mean?
And try and get us back.
If you don't pay attention before you know it, you will be paying even more than you were for cable because, oh, I want that. It's only $4. Oh, I want this. It's $12. Oh, I want this. And so by the time you get through with all these little boutique purchases, you got mission creep and you're over what you would have been paying for an entire package. So folks, be careful with the mission creep.
Yes, and Alfredo says Twitch's deal with Disney will see 4 of the digital networks' larger personalities, Jacksepticeye, Luzu Games, Smart, because Twitch is a place for, and TJ can talk to this much more than we can, but Twitch has a deal with Disney.
Okay.
Yeah, Twitch is was bought by Amazon. They're trying to create it into a YouTube channel, like similar to YouTube, but it's Amazon. And a lot of gamers are there, and creative people, and a lot of people are going over. They have a talk show section where you can have a show like this over there in the category. So it's not just gamers. People think it's just gamers, but they're trying to grow it like YouTube.
Okay. I'm just saying. I cut the cord, and I don't want y'all trying to snatch me back into the black hole. I know that.
And they really are trying to seduce you by category. You know what I mean? Oh, her interest is this or his interest is that. So,
Yeah, so I did a test run for YouTube TV. And I'm like, I don't know. The over-the-air stuff, if I'm getting it just to cover my over-the-air, I really wouldn't need YouTube TV. This is just my observation from it, because the over-the-air stuff I can get for free with an antenna, and the things that are coming on, I already have it under Sling or Amazon Prime. So technically, I don't need to have YouTube TV in order to fulfill my television.
The real TV.
Huh?
Now that I have invested in a real TV.
Oh yes, thank you. You should have saw her TV before.
Did
she have one with the big tube on the back?
No, but it had the big projection in the back.
It was huge, and you had to roll it on the floor. It was huge. It was okay. It was so 80s. Was it 80s or 90s?
You don't get rid of it until it's done. That's how I saw it.
It was working. I came home and my daughter had just got a real television.
And and her daughter got a smart TV. Oh my gosh.
Smart TV, Terry, when you can talk to it and tell it what channel to go to or what you want to watch. Isn't it fun?
Well, I tell you, the fun part was when I figured out how to mirror my computer to my TV. I was so jazzed, Terry. I was like, "Oh, I can actually see that screen."
And you hear the non-techie person say, "Mirror her TV to her computer to the TV," and I had nothing to do with it. She did not have to call me.
So it must have been pretty easy. I figured it out. Yes, so I'm excited about that part, being able to actually, because if I have something that I'm trying to learn, it's a much bigger monitor to watch it on my TV than on my laptop.
Yes, yeah. I'm just So, TJ, what do you have in? Let me ask you, Terry. Is that all that you had for today?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll be out of here in a few minutes. I want to hear what.
Yeah, I want to hear what TJ has to say too, because we want to hear. I know I want to hear. Terry calls it the Facebook apology tour. It was funny. I saw something on CNET today. I was like, really?
It's just ridiculous.
It was like a circus.
The thing about the Facebook apology tour, if you want to call it that, I mean, it exposed the government lack of technology, which we already knew. Terry and I already knew that, and when I heard people saying, "Oh, the government is going to regulate tech," I'm like, no, they can't even regulate themselves.
They don't know how.
They don't know how. Also, there was a few years ago, OPM, which is like the Human Resources Division of the government, their servers were hacked, and employees and contractors, not financial, but their data, like Social Security numbers and stuff, was hacked. This was the
Office of Management and
Office of the OPM, and because that's the section that deals with that, so they couldn't even
protect their own house
themselves.
And Terry, when you fill out a form to work for the federal government, they know how long your toenails are when you finish.
Yep, they ask everything.
It was like 14 pages. You really have to hire somebody, if you don't understand it, to just walk you through the application.
They ask a ton of questions. They come in and ask your neighbors.
They know everything about this.
They talk to your neighbors. They talk to your job. They go everywhere. They ask what side of the bed you sleep on, all that stuff. They ask every question. So my thing is, I'm like, they're exposed. First of all, you had a bunch of old men sitting up there and some women older, and you could tell they didn't know what the words were coming out of their mouth. They called Facebook the Facebook. They had a lot of other things, and I watched it for a while. I got so mad I turned it off because I'm like, they don't.
First moving so slow, Terry, because they didn't know what to ask. It's like, oh, we got them here, but
they didn't know what they were talking about.
And they were stumbling over. Alfredo said, "I sleep on the right side of the bed." Okay, Alfredo. They were stumbling. So I got something. I think it came across on Facebook by CNET, and they were asking Mark Zuckerberg questions about. So if you did, if somebody said something about the Black Panther movie, would I now get ads about the Black Panther movie over on my? Mark Zuckerberg was just like
microphone stuff.
He was just like
it was talking on your phone with the microphone. Then bring you targeted ads.
No, it was funny. I was like, seriously?
I mean, they don't even understand. The targeted ads don't come from Facebook when you're searching on the browser. That's Google. Google's got all that stuff in hand where you an ad will follow you around. That's not Facebook. So they, like I said, they didn't know.
And Google's got some real Well, Android has some real privacy issues. I mean, they were talking about it on The Verge. You know, but they ain't got them up in front of.
Because this is the thing they were trying to save face. Okay, let the American people see that we are trying to do something for their privacy. We're like, that's it. Dude, really?
That's it. They wanted to seem like they were doing something, but it was the opposite, because seeing all those old, they've been in the Senate how long?
Oh, it was
wave of kids that are coming up. They're not gonna vote for these old guys. They're gonna like.
It was funny.
My question to you, Terry, is: are they still on their Blackberries?
Probably.
Because it's the lowest bidder? Are they still on Internet Explorer because it's the lowest bidder? You know what I'm saying? It's just
because people think that the
US
government and how they work internally with computers and tech, that they're on the top level. No, they're on the bottom. They're like 2 years back, technology-wise. They are. So I was glad to see this, because I can say now people can see that these people, they don't know anything they're talking about. So how are you going to regulate tech when you don't understand tech?
That is the point.
One of the senators, she kept saying data breach, data breach, data breach. And I'm like, it's not a data breach. You sold Facebook, you sold the data. Facebook doesn't sell any data. They give access to third-party software developers to talk to Facebook. They don't sell any data to these people. There's no money exchanging hands. Here's some data. No, give me money. That's not how it works. So when I heard all of these people, I tuned it out, because it just they wanted to. What is the thing where you beat the
persecute?
They wanted a whipping boy.
Yeah, scapegoat. They were looking for a scapegoat, and
scapegoat, whipping boy. And I said everybody was talking about how robotic he was, but he was well rehearsed answers. And that's
he had his attorneys and he listened to them.
Yes, he did everything that he was supposed to do. He took the beating. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to beat him. So
he showed up for the licking. He showed up his licking, and he left. He left with the same billionaire status he walked in there.
He made more money. No, he didn't walk in the same. He made more money sitting.
Did you see that?
By the time he left, the stock went up.
Exactly. It went down day one. And then everybody said, "Ooh, there's a sale on Facebook. Let's buy some." And it went down.
They're laughing about it, but I've said this before, that there's going to be some kind of company, entity, something, not the government, that's going to have a clearinghouse for our privacy data, that the companies that want to talk to us and get our information, they're going to have to go through this clearinghouse. I thought that was Equifax. Well,
no,
that.
sweetie.
It's not going to be, it doesn't exist now. Somebody's going to the like it's going to be this thing like Good Housekeeping. You know how Good Housekeeping seal and those the Consumer Reports, and they get those seals of approval. It's going to be some company that's going to give the seal of approval to companies and apps and anybody that wants to see your data. And on the other side of it, you're going to be able to control if they see it, how much they get, if any at all. That's how I feel like it's going to be something. It doesn't exist yet, but because of all of these things that are happening and people are upset, rightly so, there's going to something good is going to come out of this, where we get to create, control our data, and who gets to see it.
Well, I think something good has come out. We've got a reality check.
It was a reality show. That was funny. It was funny. I was like, really?
Well, I told you, Francine, anytime you hire clowns, the circus is going to follow, girl.
It was funny. I was like, okay.
It exposed their lack of knowledge, and the government is going to regulate. No, keep the government out of that.
Please, because they really don't know.
No.
Do not put them in charge of the traffic, because they don't understand traffic lights.
They don't understand anything. And that's why I said there's going to be a company that is going to deal with the government as far as like whatever little regulation they put into play. This company is going to deal with that, and then it's somehow going to connect with the public and
Okay, so at
you know what
least
I'm saying?
are you telling me that I can pray for it to be armed out, to be, you know, what do we call that, contracted out, Terry?
It won't be. It'll be. This company will have a contract with the government.
That's what I'm saying. They're gonna contract it out.
The Disabilities Act and
Yes.
all those regulations.
It's gonna be a grant.
This company is going to comply with the government regulations that they put into place, and then this company will also talk to.
So here's
users
the
and
problem, Terry.
Hmm?
Here's the problem, and we know the problem. When you do that, when you have a third party contract with the government, we always pick what?
The lowest.
Unfortunately, I'm hoping it's going to be a better situation than the thing with the Affordable Care Act with the website. Remember that? It was like
Listen to
$1
me.
billion or something.
You saw who got the contract to give food to Puerto Rico.
Yes,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Lowest bidder.
I know. But I'm keeping
And
my
they
fingers
sending
crossed.
crackers and crap. They sent crackers and
half of
juice.
the crackers was still in Atlanta. Okay.
Unfortunately, that's what it is. They take the lowest bidder and then it balloons into this big price. It balloons. But that's what I'm thinking, that it's either it's going to be a private company that develops everything.
Okay,
and then the government will
drinking.
come to them.
I've already started drinking. Driving is a drink.
So it could, but all the other cases, the government puts out bids. I'm thinking it's going to be the other way around. That there won't be any bids. It'll be this big company, and they'll present their case like so completely to everyone that it'll satisfy all.
So
the
it'll be
parties.
Okay.
because they got monopoly.
Okay, so here's the thing. It's gonna be like in X-Men Days of Future Past, when the little short dude went in there and said, "Oh, we can help you with your mutant problem. We're gonna go in here and we're gonna I have this whole thing." The government had no clue what he was talking about, but he walked in and had this machine that's gonna kill the mutants and all of this other stuff, and the government was just gonna let them have it. I was like, really? That's what this sounds like.
And that's exactly what it's going to be. The Fox Garden and House. If you don't.
See, what I'm thinking is the only way this is going to work is what Terry said about the bids and the government and all that. Is it's going to be something where the users, the public, we're going to be so enamored with it and happy with it that they have no choice
But to use it.
That
Okay.
this company. So it won't be the government picking the company. The company will be created. It will be,
And you know, sometimes the majority doesn't always make the best choices.
Mm-mm.
Right.
And Donna's back. She's back with us from Puerto
Donna's
Rico.
back.
Yes. So thank you,
I
Donna.
gotta run.
All right.
Donna, I love you. See you later. See you later.
Bye.
Have a good weekend, Terry.
Thank you. Have a good one, ladies.
And-
It's Francine's birthday month.
Yes, I saw.
So here's the other thing. The on another note, back at home, Amazon bought Ring. Ring is a doorbell that has a camera on it.
Yes.
And you know, when there's a motion by your door, or if there's a somebody ringing the bell.
Right. And also it has an app. So, and they demoed it on CBS News this morning that the lady was at a cafe and she had looked at her app on her phone and she could talk to the person at her door.
And then you can
So
actually do that. And you can do that.
Yes. And I love this story because the guy that created it, he went on Shark Tank a few years ago. It was called Doorbot. And it wasn't completely formed. Like the sharks passed on his business idea. And he said that was the best thing that happened to him because he went back to his garage and went back and refined it, called it Ring, and now it works the way it is, because the way it was before, it had, they were saying that it's the wrong name. They didn't understand it. It really wasn't straightforward. So he picked the name Ring, which is real simple. It's work simply, like you can be at home or you can not be at home, and you control who's at your door and who's coming around. And I thought it was a great story that he developed this thing in his garage.
So basically, when you're not finished your work, God find a way to send you back to get this stuff done. So
yeah.
Really market properly. Because the Shark Tanks, you know, sometimes they want you to go, at least that's what I heard, they're thinking of things how it should be to get you to market quickly, when sometimes you're really not ready yet to get there. Because it's all about
and he said that today. He said that going on Shark Tank was the best thing that ever happened to him for the product and the company. So now he's, you know, doing well.
Nice.
He sold it to Amazon. So
and then Amazon lowered the price because because I bought one for the front door. And
I think he said it was $90. It ranges in price.
It's
like
$100 now.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's $100 now. You can get other parts to that. You can get cameras for the different parts of the house.
Like a range of prices. Like it starts at $99 and it can go up depending on, like, for instance, what you add to it. But like I said, I really love hearing that story, because he had an idea product, started in his garage. They talked about, Bill Gates did the same thing in the garage, and Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak did their thing in the garage. So they were like, was it because of the garage? And he said he was in there, trying to figure out an idea, and people kept ringing his doorbell. He's in the garage. So that sparked the idea of.
So he didn't have to get up. He could just see who's at the door.
He could see who was in the garage and not have to get up. And also, he said he didn't even think about the protection part of it, because he said his wife told him that having the system made her feel safer. So and those things guided him to the right path to getting this product.
And so here's the thing: it's not an alarm system. So don't think that it is an alarm system that's going to call the cops. All it does is when someone rings your bell, you can see who's at that door, and you can talk to them even.
Yes.
And
you don't have to open your door. There's no need to go to the door, open the door, look through the people. Any of that. You can be in your home or in a certain radius, and you see it on your app, and you talk. You actually see the person at your door, and you can talk to them, and they don't know that you're not there.
Yeah, they don't know that. Just leave it on the porch or something. You can just talk now, and so. Technically, Terry, you don't need to be in a closed radius. I was at the store, and I have the sensor, I think is set too far out. I think it's like 30 feet out. The bus comes by my house, and the bus is heavy, and so it triggers the motion. And I get this thing on my phone saying there's a motion at your front door. And I'm like, and then I have to remember, it's the bus going by, because it's not. I have to bring in the setting back so that it doesn't trigger 30 feet out from the door.
And see, I see it application. This is good for older people.
Yes.
Where and this is even when, like, your parents, excuse me, like you have elderly parents that are still at home, and you want to check on them, or you want to make sure that they're okay. Then they don't have to get up and go to the door and answer the door, and it's somebody trying to push in, or any of those kind of things.
And
for your parents,
I like it for that reason. I also like you.
Is it a monthly fee? I don't
know. No, Donna, there is not a monthly fee. You pay for it. Now you can do an annual something where you can get the recordings. You don't have to pay any fee. You can keep it for free and just monitor what's going on. But if you want a recording of what happened, then you pay the annual fee and have access. They will store your recordings of activity if you want to pay for it.
Yeah, but here's my takeaway from this. And I think I've said this before, right? There's a guy, Terry, saying that he was doing something in his garage, and he got this idea because the bell was ringing. And I've often said, I'm looking at it from a business point of view, when you're working on what you're supposed to be working on, great things appear. Great things happen. If you're doing nothing, great ideas, it might seem great, but when you start working, you see what happens. So when you're working away where you're supposed to be working away on, all these great things happen, and there you go.
Yeah, and he decided to stick with it. He didn't quit. And, you know, he thought, you know, and a lot of times we try and go to other people to validate our idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they don't see what you saw. He went and they didn't accept his idea. We may not have ever gotten it if we'd have waited for them.
And listen to this in the news report about Amazon buying Ring. They said LA police. Oh, sorry, I'm on the site. Hold on. They said LA Police Department pilot program found that a neighborhood using the device experienced a 55% drop in crime versus another neighborhood that didn't have the smart doorbell installed. And this is with the Ring, 55% drop in crime.
Now, here's the thing about that. With this Ring, you can see other neighborhoods and of what the other neighbors have posted, like, hey, this person picked up something off of my porch or whatever. You can see clearly who came to the door, who picked up the package, who may have walked away with it, and you can see what's going on in different neighborhoods around your house, like within a mile radius of your house or a 5-mile radius. They give you a sticker to put in the window. People who see the little sticker, they're not coming in there because you're monitored. It's like it is a security camera, but you're monitored when you walk by, pass by, or whatever. So the privacy issue.
It's some kind of form. Even though it doesn't report, it is a form of that. I remember I used to get paper here, and this guy was, obviously I'm paying for the service, and he wouldn't drop my paper. Like, he was like, I'm not coming. It was snowing. He wasn't dropping my paper, and I called it in because I paid up front for the service. And so, I mean, something like that really caught him that he never delivered any paper.
Yeah.
He threw a paper, I think within a week, and it was an old paper that he just dumped there. I mean, I don't know why he would deliver paper if he doesn't want to come deliver the paper. It was so wet. And that made me call it. So stuff like that, you know, you'll get that. So I guess it's servicing more than just a bell.
And see, it's got a connection with Amazon and Alexa. Because remember, when you order stuff from Amazon, Alexa will tell you when your package arrives. So if it's all connected, you can, look, like you said about people stealing packages. You know it's there at your door. Maybe you're at work or whatever, and you look at it to see if anybody's coming to get your packages.
So now with Amazon and that it connects up, it'll be able to connect up to Alexa. Then if you have a smart lock on your door, the delivery person from Amazon or whomever, even UPS, you can with a smart lock, you can actually punch the lock and unlock your front door, where they can put the package inside the house, put it down, shut the door, but you're still seeing them.
Yeah.
Because the camera is still showing, and you can sit there watching them put it in the house if you wanted to. And I wasn't sure how that would work, but you have to have a smart lock at the front door because there would not be any way for them to get in.
Right.
So, or when they ring the bell and want to drop off the delivery, you can go, oh, my delivery is here, and say, okay, go ahead. I'm going to bring you in, and you can drop it, put it there and have a conversation. Like it's an intercom system, but it is
right, because it's not a security, like Fran said, it's not a security system, it's a smart doorbell.
Yeah.
So,
and then you have to implement it. Now there's a company that's implementing the Ring, which is Vivint Security. So now alarm companies are now integrating the Ring doorbell with their systems.
Wow.
And what I saw was, what I didn't like is I saw this company and I'm like, well, how come you're charging $500 and something and giving people monthly payments on the service, and it only costs $100 to install that? But I think they're installing the lock and the camera
and the security. And
yeah, but then they're setting you up for the service, which is the monitoring of your, you know, and it'll call the cops if somebody comes and that type of thing. But the equipment, I was like, that's a lot of money for equipment.
But remember, everybody, you know, there's people who this is the kind of business they do. They look for a great idea and then piggyback onto it and make, you know.
And that's what they did, and a lot. And I'm sure it's helping people because now the person doesn't have to figure out how to put all of that in themselves, and the alarm company puts it in for them and charges you the fee for doing it.
And you know that's convenient for people.
Yeah.
To buy into a system, like you said, instead of going, well, I got this Ring device, now I got to figure out how to hook this and that and that. And see, now it's saying, okay, well, it integrates with Alexa. And if you get it with the security company, then it integrates with that. So you take the worry and the fuss, you make it worry and fuss free. You make it easy for people to install.
Yeah.
More sales.
And most people are not, most people do not want to go through all of that setup.
No.
Just give me a package.
Everybody wants an out of the box solution, like take it out of the box, plug it in. And everybody wants that. Like, I don't want to deal with, you know, this and that. You want an out of the box solution where you just turn it on and you're good. And you're good.
And we have David in the house today. Whoa, boy, where have you been? Tech dudes today. We had two tech dudes today. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. I thought that was, you know, man, Ring hasn't been out that long, and Amazon picked them up. I was like, wow.
You know, and I'm interested. I saw a quote from Mark Cuban. He said, because he passed on it on Shark Tank, he said he would pass on it again. Even now, he would still pass on it because of the startup costs or something. But, you know, hey, that's his opinion.
Okay. Buyout from Amazon says everything we need to know.
Exactly. So he's like, oh, I would still pass on it. Okay.
But he has to say that because he passed on it.
It's like, what, dude?
I watch Shark Tank a lot, and a lot of them will show, they'll comment on other people that maybe they turned down, and they're like, oh, maybe I made a mistake. So they will, some of them will admit to,
some people who feel like,
but I guess he's like, no.
Yeah, he don't want it, you know, he's the kind of guy, because on, we have Dragon's Den, and we had Dragon's Den before Shark Tank.
Yeah, because see, that's where I saw it first. I was watching Dragon's Den on the BBC, and I was like, oh, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
And you're right, Karen.
Like that because she comes from a total different place in all her dealings with anybody that she takes on. And so it depends on the shark or the dragon decides what they want in their portfolio, because it's all about what's happening in those number columns. And our units come from an emotional, touchy-feely place coupled with the numbers.
Yeah. So anyway, I just thought, that's interesting. So we had the Ring being bought by Amazon. Amazon is still making big strides in doing things. It's almost like an octopus. It has its arms in a lot of stuff.
And still people say, I don't like the hustle. What do you think that is?
Amazon is a hustle. He's like, oh, we can do this, right? Amazon is a hustle, and it's also pushing all of the competitors to do things, because now all the grocery stores are delivering. Oh, y'all wasn't delivering. You weren't delivering a couple of weeks ago before Amazon took over Whole Foods, and they started delivering for Sprouts here in Sacramento. I was like, wait. And then the next thing I saw when I went into the grocery store around the corner was, oh, we deliver. Oh, now you deliver.
Yeah. Oh, now they deliver all of a sudden.
Yeah, now you deliver. I said, okay. So it's pushing you to change your business model. When somebody else in your field is making change, you're going to have to change, because this is what the people want.
You have to when the lead, say that not if they're the leaders, but say someone in the industry is doing something new and leading the way, the others have to follow, just simply because of competition. And then your customers may ask you for it, or you want your customers to ask you instead of going to the competition. So you kind of have to keep up in step with, say, that first one or two in the industry that are making a change and going, you can't stand back and say, well, I don't want to do it. Do you want to stay in business? You want to keep your customers? You may have to think about doing it.
i.e. unlimited data on your phone.
Oh boy.
They did not want to do that. Verizon probably went kicking and screaming. They did not want to do that.
I know. But hey.
And then when the guy,
if their business model needed a change to see how they could accommodate it, because it's not usually that you can. It's just that you have to figure out how to have your business model enable you to be profitable to do whatever it is you need to do in your business to keep it going. Hi, David.
Yeah.
Hey, David.
Hi, David. Can you hear us?
Can you see us?
Okay. You'll have to push the little. Well, he's on. Your mic might be muted. I don't think it is.
Can you see us, David? I'm gonna send him a message.
Oh, we can't hear him. Let me see if his mic is muted. I don't think it is. He said one moment.
No. Okay, I sent him a message. Oh, he said one moment. Okay,
yeah. He signed one moment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
like,
anywho,
we need the tech dude on.
So it's been interesting how competition will cause you to change and how competition is going to make you do better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And speaking of that, I mean, while we're waiting for David, I was going to talk about Instagram having a new feature, the focus feature, which is the portrait mode, and it makes when you're taking a picture of yourself, it puts you in focus and it blurs the background.
What? Wait, so you don't have to have the iPhone 7, 8, 9, 10 or whatever to do it anymore.
You have to have the iPhone 6 Plus, no, the 6S and up. Anything below it doesn't work. It's 6S and up.
Wow.
Yeah. So people have been going on my Instagram. I've seen it all over the place. People are going crazy with the focus features. So they're loving it.
Because it makes you look better. It really does.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like when you go to a photographer, a professional photographer, and they take that picture from back there.
David's fixing himself up.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I had to update Zoom.
Oh, no. You had to update?
I had to update Zoom.
Oh.
Wow. So how's it been, David?
Good. I got 4 minutes and 6 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
What are you ladies talking about?
We have been talking just different parts of tech. TJ, what you got on
We're talking about Facebook. We're talking about Ring, Amazon buying Ring, and just talking about Instagram with the new focus feature.
Yeah. Yep.
Instagram. With the
focus portrait where your face is in focus, but the background is blurred. So that's it. And we've been laughing.
A little bit of AI work in the background. That's about it. So
I know. So what's up with you? I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah,
You've been busy.
I've been busy. I've been offline. I've been good.
You've been good though.
But I've been lurking. That's what it is.
Okay. I've been lurking. That sounds like a song.
I've been lurking.
I like that.
Testing some new stuff out, moving some stuff around. So
good. Okay. You're looking good.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I saw Francine's got a birthday coming up. She's got a donation thing started.
Yeah, I was playing with that because I was figuring, I'm like, okay. And then there's so many donations that they have listed to choose from. I was like, okay.
I keep trying to get myself listed and they keep rejecting that.
And that was the other thing. How would you, as a nonprofit, get listed on that? I mean, there was like, I was trying to just pick something, and it was just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. I was like, come on.
For their that certification when the nonprofit starts, that was it 501c? Is it
501c3 and something else?
They asked for that.
It was like, whoa. And then
all you people out there don't think I want to get on there. You gotta be a true nonprofit.
Yeah. And then the other thing was I wanted to see what the experience is for other people because, okay, is this a sham? How are they going to do this? And so I looked at I had to make sure it was the right Mercy Housing because there's like a list of them, like several of them. And then when I went to go look up to make sure it was, because they didn't have Mercy Housing Sacramento. We have one here, but they didn't have Sacramento. All they had was California. I'm like, okay, well, that's close enough. Then I went in and I wanted to see if it brought up about Mercy Housing. And it did, but it had something about guidedstar.org. I'm like, who is this? And why is this on this page? And I guess it takes you to Guided Star has the Mercy Housing info on their page. And then somebody's processing the payment or something. I was like, okay, I want to know what this is going to be like for people. So, and because I don't want it to be like, is this a scam? And yeah, because my first choice would not be doing payments on Facebook. That's just me. I wouldn't do it, but we'll see. And then I want to call Mercy Housing to make sure they got the donations.
All right.
So this is like a beta test for me because there's too many things online.
True. That can go wrong.
Let's see if I can do this. Have you all talked about? So one of my things this year has been voice. I've been researching a lot about voice, playing around a lot with voice, various different aspects. Did you all see the update from Anchor?
No. Tell us the update from Anchor because I just got somebody signed up.
Anchor, at least on iOS. I don't know if it's Android, but I think it's app-wise. So I would imagine either way. One of their updates was you can actually have a co-host for your Anchorcast, podcast, whatever. You can pick a topic. So let's see if I can change what my camera is to. Nope, it's not gonna let me. Okay.
You can do You can do a screen share.
Yeah, I can do that. Let me close down all the secret government documents.
The secret government.
Karen is probably sitting over there. You people, your government is so behind the times.
Oh, I can do just the application. Okay, so can you all see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the Anchor app. I just opened it up. So you can pick a topic. So let's say tech news. And you get a pop-up that says find a co-host. So I can say find a co-host. And what they'll do is they'll say finding you a co-host. If we don't find you a co-host right away, we'll notify you as soon as someone is ready to talk about tech news.
Interesting. Woo. Now that could work for
and
discovery.
You both get so basically you talk, they talk, and you both get the recording.
On your own podcast.
I like that.
Yeah, so you can do whatever you want to do with it. They can do whatever they want to do with it. It's a pretty neat collaboration type deal.
That is good.
I think that's okay. I'm going to say it. It makes it where you can talk to people. You know what I'm saying? It's discoverability now.
Yeah,
that is blobbish because anybody would come on and be a co-host in Blob if you wanted them to. So
yeah.
By the way, it is Friday the 13th. So if anything does go wrong, you can just blame it on that.
You're so funny. But I like that. We're going to have to play with that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was just
update my app right
now. Of course, Gary.
Like, well, let me play. And so now, but okay, David, can you pick the co-host?
Well, I don't know. So I haven't gotten a Coast. I had just updated this morning. I opened the app briefly, real quick, and then shut it back down to go do some other things. So I don't know.
It would be kind of cool if you can pick your co-host.
It's so new that I don't think anybody else is doing it. So basically, it's, you know, you put yourself. So what I would suggest is, I mean, if you see some of these topics that are in here, you can add your own topic if you want. So add your own topic, or you know, pick one of these. I would suggest, you know, picking some of these topics and start, you know, just putting it out there and see what happens and what comes along. The topic doesn't have to be what you do for business. It doesn't have to be what, you know, that's one of the traps that a lot of entrepreneurs seem to fall into, is that's all they talk about. They talk about me and what I do and what I can do and all this other. And you've got other stuff that makes you that you're interested in. So it's a good way to kind of break away, you know, from the monotony of what you do. And you know, sometimes you can get ideas. You know, for your business, or you can provide ideas, or all of a sudden you found something new that you could, you know, maybe you're, you know, a 60-year-old Korean woman who likes hockey.
So you mean you're going to be social on social media and go out and make friends?
Pretty much. You know,
wow.
It's not talking about, you know, it's about conversations. It's not about you being on the soapbox. So,
right.
Anywho,
I love Anchor, honestly. So I'm good to know. I'm glad to see this update, which I did not check. I did not see, because I usually see the updates and go, ooh, right here. I usually go on my page.
And Terry, and mine may have updated itself because I don't. Mine is already updated. Woo-hoo. So
yeah, mine probably would have auto updated as well, but so
I can.
And the other thing I can talk about is you know, more relational if you're doing anything internet wise, but especially if you're trying to do any kind of live streaming or uploading podcasts or anything like that, and you've got a wireless router. Internet speeds seem to suck, and it's because your wireless router is from 1995. Go buy a new wireless router. Go get you a new one. And the brands that I can recommend are the Nighthawk brands done by Netgear. Invest a little bit of money, and you will see a huge, huge difference in what you actually get and what you're actually able to accomplish. I have gigabit internet speed at my house, but I kept noticing that I was having issues, and I wasn't getting anywhere close to the speeds.
Right.
And so I went and updated my router, which wasn't that old, to be honest. My router was probably 3 or 4 years old, and the update was just night and day.
So this is the router, okay, because you get a router with like Xfinity or whatever. So are we talking?
Yeah, and I'm not huge on that type of stuff. I'm not huge on the bundled the router and modem all in one.
They're not going to give you the best one.
Okay,
yeah,
so
they're not really the best. They're not really optimized for anything other than you know, making sure that there is a connection sometimes, and even then it can be kind of difficult. So, you know, my recommendation is to do a little research. There's 1.5 million YouTube videos out there about how to make sure you can connect a router to an existing cable modem, or even what, you know, all this type of stuff. So do a little research, but go invest in a little bit better of a router. Netgear Nighthawks are a great, great brand. Don't go cheap. You know, don't go exuberant if it's outside of your budget. And if it's not in your budget, have that as something that you save up for. Stop drinking your $7 coffees for a month and save up that money, and go get yourself a really decent router. You will notice a huge difference in everything that you do, because so much of our lives rely upon being online. And, you know,
especially with business. You know, if you're you know, your business and you rely on that, you want to make sure your equipment is top notch. So,
well, in our connected lives that are becoming more and more connected, because we're getting all these smart devices and Philips Hue lights and Google Homes and Alexas and all this type of stuff. All that takes internet and takes up space on your a resource like your router. And it's not like the days of pre 2000 or 2005 even, where we didn't have a lot of connected. You didn't have a smartphone back then. You had a flip phone.
Yep.
You had a pager. You didn't have a tablet. Your internet account was probably through AOL and all these different things. Life has changed, and these newer, more updated routers are just basically computers in themselves, to be honest. So go look into some of the various different routers that are out there. But like I say, if you don't have the money right now, save up for a month, and
people don't think about things like that. Like you said, they get the router from the internet service provider, and it's not the best. You think it's the best one because they're giving it to you, but David's saying that's not the case, and he's right. You need to investigate and look at.
So
I think it's kind of now. I think there's one or two cable companies out there that will not allow you to bring your own modem. But that modem is not free. It does cost you something each month. You can actually go buy yourself a modem. All your cable providers have a list of approved modems that can be used on their service. And, you pay once for it, and you don't have to keep paying the $10 monthly charge. $10 a month, that equals, that's $120 a year. And you could have probably bought yourself your modem for about $80.
Okay, so
find yourself your modem for $80, and then again, like I say, you can get it on YouTube. You can find out how to connect these together. You're not going to, it's not going to affect your service or anything of that nature. They're not going to.
So you don't have to use the modem necessarily that came in the box that they sent you.
Nope.
No, you have to.
Things we did not know.
You can tell them, I have my own modem, and I'll be using my own.
And things you did not know about your internet service provider. So I'm going to look into that because I don't like spotty service and stuff doing this. And you're like, whoa, what happened? Your internet your internet connection is not stable. Really? Why not?
Right. And let's see, third piece of advice that I can offer before I hop off. For those of you who travel and use public Wi-Fi in the hotel that's free, and in the restaurants and the Starbuckses and stuff like that, go get yourself a VPN service. Because that is the easiest way to, one of the easiest ways to help protect your data and your security, by having a VPN service. And ExpressVPN, who I use now, and the reason I use them is because I can actually stream Netflix and be able to stream Netflix while on a VPN, is a service that I would highly recommend. It's not that much, especially when you equate it to the cost of, if you're on the Starbucks or the hotel Wi-Fi, which is public, which is not secured. So, somebody could sit there and put a sniffer out there and gather all the information and all the tracking habits of what you're doing. It's a good way to, protect yourself. So,
exactly.
Go get yourself a VPN service.
We really appreciate you coming in and giving us these tips, David, because things that we didn't think about, nor did we, it was not on the radar to talk about. But I'm like, might need to look at that again.
Those are some good areas to look into, and areas to help build yourself a nice solid foundation to help weather against storms. Because you can't avoid storms. Storms come, but you can try and storm-proof yourself and your business and your life as best as you can. These are ways to do it. So,
well, you mean close the hurricane shutters, or you have the hurricane shutters on the house, and
you got to buy the hurricane shutters first. You can't close the hurricane shutters. You don't want to be one of those people that's running to Home Depot trying to get the last pallet of wood to board up your windows. take a little bit extra time, prepare for the storms that can come. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's going to be that's going to be a topic of the next month and a half or so. We're going to be weathering storms and storm proofing. Not storm prevention, storm
proofing. So you all can follow David, David Vaughn on Anchor, and David Vaughn on Facebook and Twitter, YouTube. You're on Instagram, David?
I'm on Instagram too. Don't post there much. I haven't posted much anywhere online in the last few months, honestly. So, but yeah, you can go follow me in all those places. And if you do, you'll be catching some of the stuff that I'll be putting up for you.
Cool. And you can follow Coach Karen with Island Girl Hustle everywhere. TJ Online with Attention Necessary everywhere. And then BizChicks.live. You know, people have been trying to bite our bite. What is the word? Perpetrate. Anyway, we had to go get real biz. Yeah, imitate. We had to go get real Biz Chicks on Twitter because people were trying to perpetrate. I might need to update us over on Instagram too. I was like, really?
Yep.
When if you don't mind, in the Facebook chat, I did put a link for ExpressVPN. It is an affiliate link. I get a small little stipend of something.
No problem. We trust you, David. We trust the tech dude. We trust you and Alfredo. That's the two tech dudes that come in and always help us out. And Carlos is a tech dude too whenever he shows up. So
yeah.
Well, ladies, it was good seeing you.
Good to see you too, everybody. We're going to be back Monday with Sherry Burton Ways, and then next Friday we'll be back here talking tech. David, you can pop in if you'd like, and you know.
I will try.
Okay.
Yeah. Good to see you.
Good to see everybody.
I've seen you all.
All righty. So we'll see everybody starting Monday.
Yeah. Don't forget to go to the front of your line.
Yay.
Yeah, we forgot that.
Yeah. No, we.
Bye, everybody. Have a good weekend.
Bye-bye.